The Boys. So we're gonna get spoilery now about The Boys, season 3, episodes 5 and 6. Taking these 2 episodes at a time. The next time we do this will be the finale, so we're getting there. But we're on 5 and 6 now. So again, spoiler warning for these 2 episodes and everything that has come before in The Boys. So, um, it's interesting that you had actually mentioned the other week how you were kind of interested in reading the comic this was based upon, and Ashley had said that too, actually. So we've got the volume 1 omnibus on its way
Oh,
for
nice.
this. So we'll see what Ashley will probably read that before me, so we'll see what she thinks of it.
Yeah,
So
I'd love to know.
yeah. All right, episode 5.
Mhm.
What'd you think?
Oh, man. I mean, just watched this and I'm still like, what? There was a lot happening in these 2 episodes, which is good. I'm glad that we're moving forward in some major plot points, but yeah. So we're coming off a huge moment where we've just met Soldier Boy for the first time in Russia. Found out he potentially has a superpower that takes away superpowers from others, and we're getting it confirmed in this episode as everybody's still kind of freaking out about Kimiko, and the injury she sustained from him, and the fact that like maybe her powers are gone forever temporarily. We're not sure. So
Right.
that was kind of a scramble to catch back up with at the beginning there. um, and I felt like the opening was disjointed actually in a really great way. Like the team was all disjointed. Like was just like watching the news, just pissed. Frenchie's with Kimiko, trying to like, you know, hope that whatever slapdash care they've given her so far is holding her together. Butcher's like, we need a plan. Huey's just like heaving his guts out. Like everybody's just all over the place in a mess. And I really felt like that was very metaphorical for where the boys are at right now.
Sure. Yeah. I was telling Ashley about this today. It's like I don't know if you feel this way at all or not, but I never am excited to watch The Boys. Like I literally watch The Boys because we're watching on this show.
Okay.
Then I watch the episode and I inevitably get drawn in. So like there clearly is
Totally.
a
Okay.
quality that they have where I'm
Yeah.
not excited to watch this. I have to make myself to do it. But when I do sit down and watch it, I'm like, okay, there's always something compelling to like
Yes.
make me invest.
Yes. No, I totally agree with that. Because Chris actually suggested the other day that we watch The Boys, and I was like, feeling that. Um, Totally feel that, what you're saying. Like, it's
Mhm.
really hard to just be like, "We're gonna watch The Boys now." Like, I'm
Mhm.
excited to sit down and do it, and then, yeah, once we start, there's something compelling, magnetic, there's just something so outlandish that, like, I'm just drawn into commenting or, like, I have to say something, and then Chris and I start, like, a back and forth, and then there's an energy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very strange show that way, where once you've
Yeah.
started, you need to watch it because something crazy is happening
Mhm.
or something that you
Like
have an opinion about.
mhm. I don't know what I don't know. Maybe it's like the weight of the world allegories, or maybe it's the like
Sure.
how gross some things are that just make me not like. Again, we got more octopus sex. I'm just like, oh god, dang
Oh
it! I
god,
don't want to see
Chris
this.
totally called it. Chris totally called it. I was like, "No," and he totally was.
Oh, Renato
Oh,
says love
gee.
sausage. Yeah, opening the
Love
closet, just like
sausage.
boosh. Just oh
Yeah.
my god. Like I'm not
Yeah,
asking for this.
poor and his jacket, man. That was a nice jacket. I get
Yeah,
why he's pissed.
I know, right? So, yeah, Renato says we gunfight after after said it's a struggle to watch sometimes or whatever, or to start it up. Um, yeah,
Well,
I don't
and
know.
I think it's certain beats too. There have been, I think, storylines where I was more invested because I didn't feel like we were gonna go to that crazy, gross place. And I think season 3 has had just like some extra stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, by now, if you haven't heard about it, sorry, it's in the first episode. The giant penis that like everybody was talking about. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like everyone was like, "Oh,
Exploding on a
that
penis.
scene, that scene, that scene," and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know if I even want to start this."
Hmm.
Like, I don't know if I want to see that scene. And then of course, like things happened where I was just like, "Oh, it's so good," and like fine, like we had a small character climbing inside a penis and exploding out, but I got past it because other things were so good. And
Yeah.
sometimes I worry that like the other things aren't going to offset the gross weirdness,
Yeah. Right.
like
Yep.
hero-gasm that was happening here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Was things gonna offset that? Did I really need to see, a camera that was in a toilet taking people taking shots of people's butts? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know that I did.
Yeah. No,
Luckily there were other things that were worth it, but yeah, man, sometimes you're just like, "Oh, I don't know if I wanna see that."
my fear is two things. One is right, all that gross that doesn't really add anything for me,
Mhm.
is just they're gonna always try to up themselves
Yeah,
constantly, and it's just gonna be this shock value kind of thing. Game of Thrones was criticized of this, like trying to put in sex things for shock value and like just to draw people in with that, just
right,
not being necessary. And
right.
whatever, however we
Make it
feel about that
shocking, but make it make
individually,
sense. Yeah,
right?
make it shocking, but make it make sense. That's all.
Mhm. And the second thing is like, and I was wondering if I had missed this and it's always been this way, or if it's just like more noticeable now and more spoken about. But is this, it used to be to me that they would be a little more intelligent with their comparisons to real world, to their allegories and stuff. In this season in particular, it seems we're just like lifting things and putting them in
Yes.
here. So we're
I agree
taking,
with
so
you.
we talked about before the soda ad, literally just like plop in this in here we had the singing uh
Oh my
the
god.
song,
Yeah.
the celebrity singing the
Imagine.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and like these things can be funny, but it's not original. And
Right.
we're not taking instead of taking something and making it in this world, we're just moving it in now.
Yeah.
Names of things, organizations, people, as opposed to like creating a made up one and then letting people draw comparisons where they feel it makes people think. You're just
Right.
dropping in things
Right.
from the real world. And to me, it takes away some of its thought-provoking nature, and
Right.
they're just
If you don't
going
have to
for a
think
kind
about
of
it.
yeah, right.
Yeah. I agree that now that the especially like the Imagine song was in here, I really thought the Pepsi ad correlation with A-Train's like soul drink or energy soul whatever was funny. It was very
Mhm.
funny because it was so like it's a shot for shot remake. Oh my god, that's hilarious and like oh my god, it's still so bad. I totally forgot about this. But then, like, doing the Imagine song on top of that, like, you couldn't even pick a different song. Like, I don't care if you, like, poke fun
Right.
at that because it's, like, a funny moment where we're like, "Oh my god, remember when that happened? Oh, that was so cringe." But, like, at least, like, try to cover it up with, like, something a little different.
Yep.
Because yeah, if I just, like, am immediately drawing the parallel because it's the exact same thing, what do I have to think about then? I can just be like,
Yep.
"Oh, that's that happening. That's this person. That's a character." Like, good. I am, at the skill level of a 6-year-old. I can identify things,
Yep.
but I'm not
Yep.
making any like interesting like conclusions or interesting thought processes by just watching the same thing that I see in the real world.
Yep. Yep. And Renato says he looks at the show as a kind of holding a mirror to us. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But that mirror doesn't have to be, it can be a funny mirror, it can be a warpy mirror. It doesn't have to be,
Sure.
you know, mirror accurate because yeah, just
Or Or again, like, pick and choose smaller things. I mean, I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of mirroring happening at a lot of levels, and it does become overwhelming to just feel like like, the creative story is getting maybe a little bit subsumed by the fact that we are just mirroring reality.
right.
Because, like, the thing that's going on with Soldier Boy is really interesting to me. Um, and, like, the storyline of, like, you know, him and Homelander and like who's the OG, who's like the upgrade or like the sad sequel or like this fight, like, you know, the Butcher and Huey versus like Starlight and MM that's coming out of like how far do you go if you're, doing what you think is right or even if you're just
Yeah,
trying to get revenge, if you're trying to work out some demons, if you're trying to, make somebody confront their own wrongdoings. Like these questions are all really interesting, but yeah, they're getting a little bit subsumed by direct analogs to events that are currently happening.
I'll agree with that. Yep. Um, the other thing I think that maybe I guess there's a third thing I suppose is I don't like almost anyone. I like Kimiko and Frenchie. I like them a lot, even though I want to see this Frenchie as a pet thing go away and be resolved. Like you're
Yeah, it
always
was fun at
subservient
first.
to so. Yeah, it's like it's looking sad now, too pathetic.
Yeah. Yep, I
So he
agree.
needs to like
I agree.
fix that. Needs to be
Little
a
little Nina was a character I thought was gonna be really fun, and I'm kind of turning out to be disappointed by it. Um, like, I thought, her past with Frenchie was gonna be maybe a little bit more mysterious or, just a little bit more push and pull rather than her just being like, you're a little yeah, like you're a little pet who follows its owner everywhere, and you're
yeah,
so sad and pathetic, and you like what I do to you. I really thought, like, her and Butcher were maybe gonna, like, go at each other in some
yeah,
fashion or, like, maybe have sex with each other. I don't know, the way they were
yep,
talking, I was very interested to see how that was gonna play out, and then the show took, like, a hard right on her character and Butcher's. So,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
Sorry, I, like,
Uh,
co-opted your point there. Keep going.
no, no, no. It's just I like those two, and
Mhm.
Renata brings up MM, and
I love MM.
MM has been until I think this season the one of the characters, like the touchstone. He's able to keep his cool. He's been logical a lot of the time. He's been the voice of reason a lot. And in this season, he hasn't. Now, I understand they're trying to make that because he's like personally, emotionally invested now. But it's making him really stupid. And so, I mean, he wants to fist fight now with um what's his name?
Soldier
With
Boy.
Soldier Boy. What are you gonna do here? What are you doing here? He's not thinking anymore. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I agree that that isn't a smart decision, but he clearly feels it's what's necessary to address the trauma that's kind of ruled his life. And I
right.
mean, maybe he deserved the chance to do something. I mean, something more than throw like a gas grenade or a gas bomb or whatever it was at Soldier Boy. Which was even though I don't love I kind of love Soldier Boy, I don't know, back and forth, love, hate, was a cool moment when he just, like, inhales it, blows it out. It's like, "Oh,
Yes,
halothane."
yes,
Dang, that was cool.
that was cool.
Um,
Yep,
but yeah, I mean, maybe he deserves the chance to just, like, say, "You know what? I faced him and I said the thing I wanted to say, and even if he punched me so hard all my teeth fell out, maybe he doesn't have his, like, OCD anymore." Maybe he's
sure,
not afraid. Maybe he doesn't wake up at night. Maybe he can spend time with his daughter because, he doesn't have to go out and say, like, I have to, do this thing and that thing to make sure Soldier Boy doesn't kill my family. I don't know. I think that was one of the things I actually got frustrated with these last couple of episodes was people making decisions for other people and trying to protect them.
mm. Well,
Like
Huey,
Butcher was just yeah, Butcher was to stay on MM for just a second, Butcher completely just, like, shut down anything that MM wanted to do and just was like, "It's for your own good." Maybe
right.
so, maybe not. Like, kind of feels like Butcher maybe sort of halfway was like, it's sort of for your own good, and also like I really just want him to kill Homelander.
Mhm.
Huey, very obviously making choices for Starlight and being like, I have to save you, I have to protect you, like I need to do these things, was clearly all about him, nothing about her.
Yep.
So
And
that
I
recurrent theme,
understand.
I was just like, ugh.
Mhm. And I understand the way Huey feels, but if that is the way you feel and you can't handle that dynamic, then you can't be in that relationship. You know, if
Hmm.
you can't handle that sort of power dynamic or whatever, where yeah, you're going to be in these dangerous situations and your girlfriend's going to be saving you all the time. If you can't handle that, then you got to face up to that and move on. Like the relationship isn't for you. Then it's not fitting.
Right,
So
right.
because otherwise it just
Well,
looks really
and
bad. Like you can just like face it, or you just look really pathetic.
right. Yeah, I was very disappointed in Huey. I mean, his character just seems to be falling further and further this season out of likability, or in some cases reasonability, because he's very, very obsessed with this idea of saving Annie and like, I don't know, evening out the score. And I'm just sort of
Yeah.
like, maybe you need to take a beat and figure that out. Maybe it's like some trauma that you haven't addressed with your old girlfriend who got killed by A Train. And I mean, that piece was kind of nice to see brought back in these couple of
Yeah.
episodes where Huey did get a chance to like face off and tell A Train, like, listen, you never said you were sorry. Like, your apology, your statement, it was all bullshit. And A Train shocked the hell out of me by actually saying sorry.
Yeah.
Like, he grew and he was like, this happened to me. I get it now in a way that I didn't before. And I was shitty and I was wrong.
Yeah.
And Huey
That
just
was
like
very
couldn't,
surprising.
yeah, Huey just couldn't even deal with that. Couldn't even accept that little like moment. Had to punch him in the face.
Because he didn't really want that anymore. Like
Nope, he
he
didn't.
he is over it now. He's just tired of feeling weak, which
Yep.
I get. If anyone had the offer to have the superpowers thrown in front of you, a lot of people are going to take it because a lot of people are feeling over their normal lives without superheroes being present powerless in their own life. So they're going to take it
Yeah.
to feel now. If you change your normal person's life and you do have superheroes all over the place, and maybe you know them and you're intertwined with them a lot, that's a tough thing to deal with, for sure. It's so I get it, and people can have their moments of weakness for sure.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a character that have interest in and we like, they need to be moments of weakness, not like massive character flaws. It's like if
Right.
someone is, a fit person, triathlon, whatever, and then they become paralyzed or something. That's incredibly difficult to deal with. Obviously, your life has changed now. You now have so much less power over normal daily things that you did before. And so people are going to handle that differently, and some people are going to handle that well, at least publicly facing, and others are going to have a lot harder time. And so I think the same kind of thing can be said here for someone that feels disabled constantly around everyone and useless. And so I get these things, but again, they need to be moments of weakness, not giant character flaws. And we need to overcome these things or and grow. And that could happen. But in the meantime, I'm experiencing an entire season where I don't like this character. So,
Right. Yeah, it's hard because it feels that he was just sort of forgetting that the rest of the boys, I mean, we're just going to set aside Butcher also taking temporary leave for just a minute here. The rest of the boys are also just people, and yet they don't walk around feeling powerless. They feel that they can do something. Now, are they frustrated? Do they want things to move quicker than the speed that they're able to do them? Are they, you know, wishing that they had tools to, take the fight to the soups and make things more fair more often? obviously, and that's what we're dealing with this season by the fact that they have access now to a tool that they feel can like level the playing field. But the one of the nice things about Butcher taking V is he isn't like walking around like I need this because I'm helpless. Like he's
Right.
never felt that he's helpless. He wants things to move quicker, he wants them to happen, like he's itching to see obviously Homelander in the ground. But one of the nice things about his character is that he's never like walked around just being like, "Oh, like I can't do anything." Because he clearly
Yeah.
thinks he can and he makes it happen. So
Yep.
Huey could like take a beat and think about the fact that like with the boys he has accomplished a lot and just like chill out on the I'm helpless and I lose all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I That's the other thing that's kind of made this show, it's diminished a little bit in a way, is that this show is about a group of normal people managing to, trying to cull the superhero population, trying to deal with superhuman people. And now we have two of them plus Kimiko, really. So three that were superpower.
Kimiko the
Well,
question mark.
right. Yep.
Kimiko the question
But
mark now.
mhm. So two people at this point
Yeah.
that are superpowered as well. So it kind of goes against the message of, overcoming. It's no longer like David versus Goliath. It's not that kind of story anymore. The uphill battle of like the normal person against the god or whatever. It's we're leveling the playing field. So it kind of goes against to me what the whole idea of the show is, because you had to use such intelligence. Some of those best moments were when, because it is fascinating to see how normal people overcome the superheroes. Giancarlo Esposito being the head honcho and like putting Homelander in his place was always fun to see. The way that I don't remember her name now, but in the first season, the woman that he was obsessed with that was really running the
Oh my
company.
god, the vice president. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the way she used that and manipulated him and like all that stuff is what humans, normal people have to use to have power over these superheroes. And now this season, we're kind of saying, well, no, the power to have over these superheroes is just more power of superheroes, because even the secret weapon isn't a weapon, it's another superhero.
Right.
So it's still fun
Yeah.
to see. It just is diminishing of the point of the show.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard because I definitely agree with the fact that like it's tough that there isn't a weapon that kills Homelander. It's Soldier Boy, though I think his addition to the show is a very like, holding a mirror up to Homelander and like kind of like checking himself and Homelander's always been so confident in his power, like, everybody's been afraid of his power, like, what does happen if there's a superhero out there who can take him?
Yeah.
So that is at least an interesting piece. I'm interested to see Homelander in the next episode because he did just get a beat down. Like, will that change him? Will we see him scared? Like, what will happen? That'll be interesting. We've seen like challenges to his personality, but we've never seen challenges to his like superhero power. So it's at least an interesting dynamic. Now, coupled with the fact that we have Huey and Butcher also taking V and like leveling the playing field, that being kind of the focus of the storyline and moving away from regular humans can affect change and solve problems and go up against soups in a meaningful way. I agree. I agree, especially because we have two members of the boys who this is happening to. If this was one member, and all the rest of the boys were like gathered up to be like, listen, it's intervention time. You can't do this. Look at all we've done before. Like, we can do it again. You don't need this. That would be a different story to me and probably a more compelling one.
Hmm.
Um, I think it would probably, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, like, whether that should then be like Huey or if it should be Butcher. because I don't feel like Butcher would need that talk. I think Huey would, but I also still think it would make him very annoying. So I don't need Huey being more annoying.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. There's no good character to choose there, but I guess
Well,
if you had to like pin me down, I thought the first instance of Butcher taking V was very interesting.
right. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
disappointed
it's
with
more
its
interesting
continued
for
use, but
it's
yeah.
kind of more interesting for his character too because he's the one that's so like all soups need to die. So I
Well,
think
and
that's
he's
kind of
still
more
like all
interesting.
soups need to
Right.
die.
So it's kind
He
of
like
a
says it while he's drinking with Maeve, who just
yeah.
brought him more temporary V, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Sorry, you gotta die too. Bye. Like, I'm not gonna do it
Mhm.
right now, but eventually, you got a number."
Which is an interesting turn of events as well because we now don't know where Maeve is. She may be dead.
Right?
I don't think she is, but maybe.
Don't
And
either.
then it's we don't have our heroes don't have a new source of V. Maeve was the source
Right,
of V. So now the temporary V
right,
really is because when they run out, they run out. So
right.
it puts a
Butcher's gotta
timeline on this.
really use it judiciously, and I wonder if
Yeah.
that's gonna cause friction being like, "Nope, we're gonna save it for me to use because Huey
Yeah.
clearly can't handle it," and then that's gonna be
Hmm. Hmm.
some
Yeah.
friction there.
It's also like, what are the odds that Butcher, when he takes V and he gets his powers, that he can stand up against Homelander? Like, how
Yeah,
many heroes are there? None of them, almost none of them. Like, the one is Soldier Boy. Everybody else is like, you don't stand a chance. Stormfront was very powerful,
right?
but even still, so like there are potential competitors, but mostly no. So the fact that Butcher can go and then like trade blows with Homelander is surprising. And have like, it's like he could have had any power, and
Right.
he just happens to be really strong.
Well, it begs the question, how does temporary V work? Because both Butcher and Huey got stronger, clearly. I
Hmm.
mean, Huey punches A Train, and A Train's like, "How did you do that? That's
Yep.
crazy." So clearly they both got strength, but like, why and how did Butcher also get crazy laser eyes, but Huey got teleporting by
Hmm.
clenching his butt cheeks? Oh my god, that detail. That was actually really funny. I was like, "Oh, so unnecessary, but so great that he just was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I just knew to instinctively clench my butt cheeks and go." Like,
Hmm.
thank you, writers. I needed that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, does do you get like a core, like, 24-hour indestructibility and strength, and then it's just like a crapshoot on what else you get? And does it like react to something inside you that makes, Huey get the teleport and Butcher get the laser eyes? Or is it like, I don't know.
That's what
Did
I figured.
like
It
if
interacts
Huey
with your own DNA, and like
okay.
you
I
have
was like,
your
if Huey concentrated hard enough, could he do laser
it's
eyes? If Butcher concentrated, could he teleport? Or is
to
it
me, it's like
no.
X-Men, you hit puberty and go through stress, and you if you have that gene in you, your
Sure.
powers come out, and that power varies depending on who you are,
Sure. It's just
that's the way
interesting
I
that
see
there's like
V. Yeah.
it's just interesting that there's like a core similarity and then like
Yeah.
one thing that varies. And like you said, it's just, of course, Butcher happens to get, "Hey, I also get laser eyes."
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
So I'm hoping for because I enjoy this fight, but I'm hoping for a much bigger, crazier eventual confrontation. Um,
yeah, it was a good first, like, things are happening, like, we're getting a team up on Homelander. He actually is very scared, but yeah, it's obviously not our epic finale.
mhm. I just would have liked, like watching MMA now. A lot of times people kind of, they just and everything do Dragon Ball too. Everybody kind of like sizes each other up a little bit. Like take a moment. Like I would have liked a moment longer to breathe in this situation and like appreciate the conflict that's about to happen and the uncertainty of who is stronger here. Homelander is supremely confident, but like his predecessor was Soldier Boy, like to relish that. Instead, we kind of like got into it quick, like stood in the pocket, traded blows, and we cut away really quick and had a conversation with I forget who it was, if it was MM and Butcher at that point or who the conversation was with.
Yeah, we
Um,
rotated between MM and Butcher and Annie and Huey.
yeah. So it's just like in the background now, this epic fight that's not really that epic yet is going on. I wanted more appreciation for that moment because I've kind of been waiting for a moment where someone that we think might stand a chance against Homelander is
Shows
there.
up.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so um, but yeah. But it was fun nonetheless. Um, Renato asks if we have read any of the comics, and no, we haven't. But like I said, I do
Sadly.
have Omnibus Volume One on its way. So,
Yeah. Looking to fix that.
let's see. Do we have anything else to say? We've covered a lot of the characters. It's kind of the big things to go over. Oh yeah, some of those things were funny. Again, we didn't, to me, need to have this like real world thing, but this is where it can pay off, like with Soldier Boy talking about Bill Cosby.
No.
Like, that was funny,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but
he had a couple of real good like I don't have, the current reference for this where he's like, "Ah,
yeah,
Bill Cosby." And then he was like, "Ah, you know who's cool? Liberty. She could party back in the day." And you were like, cuz Liberty is
Liberty.
Stormfront's name.
Oh,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was
I
like,
didn't know
"Ah, she could party. She was some fun." And everybody's like, "I don't know how to tell you this."
that. Yeah,
So we did have some good in-world and outworld, poor
yep.
references.
Um, I see the your mention of the Gollum Schmeagol moment. That was good.
Yes.
I like that.
Homelander just like giving himself a little weird pep talk and then it was very
Hmm.
this these two episodes had a couple of different like references for me that was just like, ooh, this is very like this movie also, but it works here. And I
Hmm.
thought that was one thing that worked.
And I think this is what you're referencing, because I think I notated it too. Um, I Ashley's character, the character of Ashley in this is so awful, and I basically
Yeah.
never liked
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
But I did want to applaud. I really liked her little smackdown against A Train. That was good. A good
Yes.
moment for her.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it was a good sort of establishment of her just, again, like a regular vanilla human just being like, "Listen, I'm going to tell you some shit
right,
and you're not automatically right." Um was A Train right for wanting to do something about Blue Hawk? Hell yeah. But also, she's like, you can't just like do the right thing when it's convenient for you and remember
right.
your own like follies. Like living in a glass house probably shouldn't throw stones. So yeah,
Yep.
that moment was really excellent. And I think these two episodes, I still hate A Train, but I kind of am enjoying his growth also, and I kind of like him, but sometimes he's still a douchebag. I don't know. He flips all over the place, and I kind of like that he's like a normal human that way. Like nobody just has
Mm.
good and bad, good or bad moments. Everybody has good moments, bad moments, moments where they're all full of righteous anger, and somebody's like, "Hey, remember your very human mistake that you made?" And you're like, "Ooh, yeah." So,
I think that's part of like the other thing is like I want to like more of the heroes, or at least enjoy watching them. And right now, I enjoy watching Homelander and Soldier Boy. Maeve, but she wasn't in it much. You know
yeah, I was gonna
what I
say I
mean?
really enjoyed Maeve's journey. I didn't love her weird, like, non-sobriety bloop and sex with Butcher. That was a pairing that just sort of was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
I mean, I got it, but at the same time, I don't like that for her that she fell off the wagon.
Right, me neither, and I don't really know that, like, them sleeping together was anything that I cared about. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would have been interested to see Butcher sleep with, like, little Nina, because like, that's weird and crazy, and, like, they've got a weird energy. This was definitely like, we are colleagues working together. There was no in previous episodes, I caught no sexual
Right.
tension at all, so there was no build up to this, it just happened.
Right.
Not really loving it. But, I do have in here, I love Maeve just throwing caution to the wind when Homelander comes to speak to her. She kind of has like an Olenna Tyrell moment where she's just like, okay, like if you're here to kill me and like try to do something to me, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and how I felt, and this was me behind the scenes all along.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
good for her on that moment. I mean, I feel like that's not, truly her Olenna Tyrell moment in the fact that I don't feel like she's dead, but I loved the speech and I love the standing up to Homelander.
Yep.
So
Well, and
more Maeve,
then
please.
what's that?
More Maeve, please, if she's
Right.
alive.
Yes. And then it should definitely say, I am happy with how this ended here because I think this is the right move by Starlight. Like this is the power play you
Mm,
need to do.
yeah.
You take advantage of your following and you out everything online because
Yep.
that's what gives you protection. It's the secrecy and stuff. Like you can be taken out without much of a thought by someone. But when you're out there talking about the dangers, revealing people, and you have people's ear and trust, this is the right strategy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really getting sick of people telling Starlight like, don't test me, you can't win. Every time she tries to like use her powers and go up in a fight, and like
Mm,
Homelander's like, "Pff, no." And then Victoria Newman was like, no. So I was like, I really need Starlight to do something. And this was a power move I didn't see coming. And I liked it.
yep.
I thought she was gonna I honestly, when she started, I thought she was having MM release the flight footage.
Oh,
Um I thought that's why.
she doesn't have that, does she? Does she
She
have that?
she and Maeve
Maybe.
she and Maeve do, so I don't know
Okay.
who exactly
Yeah.
had it, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
I thought that was the power move there,
Hmm.
and then it turned out she was, like, live broadcasting, so, yeah,
Yep.
that was cool. That was very cool.
Yep. All right.
Just because I have to round out my film references,
Hmm.
uh, Butcher and Homelander going laser eyes to laser eyes was very, like, I've seen this before. Like, Harry and Voldemort, like, dueling wands, and,
I mean,
I just
Goku and
watched Iron
Vegeta.
I just watched Iron Man 2, it was on TV, and I saw, like, Iron Man and War Machine do a little, like, power source to power source to take
Hmm.
out an enemy, so I was very like, "Oh boy, this is very tropey right now." It's
You
very,
almost
very
have to, right?
cliche.
I mean, it
Yeah,
would
I
be
mean,
their thing to
they
like
were
just
they were
miss. You
gonna,
just right past each other and
right?
blast, right? Like you need to,
I mean, in
yeah.
a weird way, it was very like, penis measuring, like, "I'll test my laser eyes against your laser eyes, like, mine are more power," you know what I mean? It was very, like, somehow very them and very childish, but
Hmm.
also, reminded me of these other kind of, like,
I've
dueling
never
forces.
tried to test to see if my penis is more powerful than uh,
Well, if
yeah.
it shoots lasers, I mean, you might
Yeah.
wanna
Yeah.
try.
Yeah. Yeah. Alan posts this gift. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Yes. From Spaceballs. That's amazing.
Ah. Yes. And that was very this scene. I mean,
Right.
I knew it was coming, obviously, and it felt right for Butcher to do because he's such a child like that, but yeah,
Yep.
at the same time, I was also like, "Ah, I've seen this."
Yep.